Welcome back, everybody, to the LCK Summer 2019. We're here, Gen G up against Griffin, and there's a new face sitting in the mid lane here for Gen G. Fly is out, and Rich, the new addition to Gen G, the old player from Heroes of the Storm, coming in for his LCK debut up against Chovy, one of the best mid laners we have here. Papa, why don't you tell us a little bit about Rich?
Yeah, this is one of the big stories of esports, not just League of Legends in 2019, with the pro scene being discontinued at the end of 2018. Rich only started practicing for League of Legends seriously after being a trainee player earlier in his career years ago. Only started practicing seriously in December to try to make something out of the next phase of his esports career. Jumped games to League of Legends, was picked up by the Gen G League of Legends squad alongside his time as a Gen G HOTS pro gamer, and now actually is making his debut, 1000 LP challenger in solo queue.
Insane.
We were talking to Arnold being like, okay, do you have anything special for today? And like, we have something really crazy if we need it. Rich playing against Chovy, who just put Fly in the dumpster in game number 1. They have 3 mid laners on the roster. They give Rich his debut. The player dubbed the Faker of Hearts, the greatest ever player of another title, gets to jump title and maybe meet his match against Chovy.
Imagine being that talented that you are literally the best player, you know, a guy that's supposed to be legendary in one game. You hop over, yeah, it's another MOBA, but it's totally different mechanics, new champions, everything. And you're able to hit rank 64, I think it was, on the Korean ladder is just insanity. Now, he's no stranger to the stage either, which makes him even more appealing as a player, a great pickup for Gen G that was having trouble with their mid lane before Fly started doing well. And now this is going to give another chance to, another mid laner here for Gen G. That imagine Rich comes in here and has a pop-off performance. We might be seeing more of him.
It doesn't matter how he plays. Just the fact that he is playing is already an unbelievable story. You know, you think of like Michael Jordan changing games and going into baseball as a basketball player. That's the level of change we're seeing here. And yes, in esports, it's a little bit different. And yes, he did play as an amateur and was on pro squads, but never debuted and makes his competitive debut after being the best player to ever play another game. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a crazy story, and I'm glad we get to live it here with all you guys watching. And he's going into a bit of a pressure situation, right? He could be given counterpick for the mid lane up against Chovy, and they're down a game against Griffin with Gen G's playoff hopes potentially on the line here. So we need to see Gen G as a whole with the new mid laner come in here and play particularly well. So let's hop into pick ban. We got a Qiyana ban here. Saw a bit of that in the solo queue accounts.
Yeah, we've been able to scout out his name, by the way. Will definitely get him a lot of fans. It's literally Caps fan. After the mid laner of MSI Champions G2 Esports, in case you needed any explanation. So I guess we know where his influences are drawn from. Is he going to be a coin flip player? He is known as a hard carry player in his Heroes of the Storm days. Aatrox most played recently, but has been playing a little bit of everything. You need to be in and up on the meta. Wonder what Griffin makes of Gen G subbing in Rich.
It's definitely a curveball. It's not something you expect, you know, when the team is down this amount. But honestly, after the performance from Fly, I don't blame them, you know, to sub somebody in as, wow, Viper
First
saying,
pick.
We're pretty happy with the way Kai'Sa worked in game 1. Let's do it again.
I don't hate Kai'Sa first pick and then counter pick support if you can get away with it. You don't want to necessarily blind Kai'Sa Alistar and then potentially have a really bad 2v2 to deal with. And I think the Aatrox lock-in, and given that it's a QV pick and also a Rich pick, would be a nice flex pick on the red side. So Griffin haven't really put any special attention apart from the Qiyana ban onto Gen G, and they don't really want them to be rolling back to Yuumi either.
You'd have to imagine, as the Aatrox is going to come in here. Generally, when we see players that are, you know, making debuts or something like that, you try to get them onto comfort. So, as you mentioned, it is a flex pick, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just save counter pick for the top side and consider just throwing the Aatrox to Rich. But we'll have to wait and see, as Rakan is going to be picked up here.
Really great Rakan player is life, so seems like Xayah Rakan is going to be the end of the first round here for Gen G. They flashed the Kennen before leaving it open, and if they are to take Xayah Rakan, the Neeko could be banned. Chances of reverting the Neeko versus Kennen matchup are limited as we're bringing back the Volibear.
The Bear did some nice work, but that was already after Griffin was pretty far ahead in the game, as we are going to have Xayah Rakan, of course, what we were thinking, but we'll see if that Neeko does get picked up here in the ban phase.
See where the attention goes here. We can see nominally the top laner and the bot laners of Griffin, so no junglers taken across the two teams. Seen the ban towards Aurelia, champion that if it was Cuvée and Fly, we definitely wouldn't give them too much respect for picking up. Rich is 21 years old, in case you're wondering, born in 1998, so definitely been around an entire esports scene already, so it wasn't going to be the fresh-faced 17-year-old. And like you mentioned, it is important to talk about the fact that theoretically, while it will be nerve-wracking to be on a different stage, it's not a new experience playing in front of big fan bases.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at some stats, the guy was at the 2018 Global Championship Finals for Heroes of the Storm and got first place in a 3-0. So this guy knows what it's like to be on a big stage and knows what it's like when the pressure is on. So I have confidence that he's going to come in here and play well, but we'll have to wait and see.
You know what? After 900 damage, we're rolling back the Sejuani. And of course, we're being very tongue-in-cheek here. There was a reason the game went like that for Sejuani. She literally had no lane she could gank, so there was no synergy for it. She had to give up her jungle path to help a bot lane that in the end didn't matter because Griffin had good macro around Baron and picked that up. It is not in any way a criticism of his Sejuani play there. He was definitely playing for team, but he needs somewhere to go. The Aatrox is a start. Wonder what Rich is playing this game, if it will be the Aatrox or something else, as this would be a style pick if they went there.
Volibear top, and Lehens on his legendary Singed.
He is a very famous solo queue Singed player who's reached rank 1 with that pick. No Singed to be seen here, but a fun hover for the side of Griffin, who will be taking Renekton. Renekton and Kennen. So, someone's going mid. Renekton has been the more common pick so far in this case. So they're assuming Aatrox mid lane.
That does appear to be the assumption, and Vladimir is going to be the final pick here on the side of Gen G.
Cuvée took 500 games to play his first Vlad game, backing it up with a second one here. Almost certainly going to be on the Vlad here, unless they're going to be doing some creative lane swaps, and I do wonder, Valdez, because they heavily expected it to be Aatrox mid lane, Renekton mid lane should answer it just as well in mid as it does top.
You would have to imagine that will be the case, so absolutely. We talked about, potential counter picks and stuff like that, but they ban away his Qiyana. He goes to comfort for the Aatrox, and it's a good read by Griffin to say, okay, we'll just shut it down and in both potential lanes, and it's a lot of pressure onto Rich to be able to perform in this matchup against a great player.
And do we give them the respect that he could just take the Aatrox top lane and Cuvée would go mid lane Vlad? That's another level of complexity onto someone who's playing his first professional League of Legends game, so might just have to grin and bear a tricky matchup. And I saw the Summoner Spell Ignite. We'll see if he held on to that one. A potential surprise. A lot of synergy with a Kai'Sa swooping in and hard crowd control everywhere on the side of Griffin. Not too different from their game 1 comp in game number 2. With the player change comes a bit of ideology changing. They've got a bit more engaged. They've got some lanes that Sejuani can visit. Not so much Cuvée early. We'll see if he's going to spend most of the time being best friends with his new mid lane.
We'll have to wait and see as Rich's face right there in the mid lane. We'll see how he does here. It's match point for Griffin. We'll see if they can get the 2-0, or will Gen G fight back. We're on the Gen G side of the LOL Park. the LCK arena.
You get the full zoom on the player this game is all about. And it's such an auspicious time to debut, given that playoff race is still super hot here in LCK Summer, but people joining late. Gen Rich, which is not a name that a lot of League of Legends fans would have ever heard of, is renowned as the best player to ever play Heroes of the Storm. He literally is the faker of another title. That title, the pro scene, was largely ended with Blizzard's decision in 2018 to stop supporting it. So it was only then that he started retraining the game that he started playing in 2012, 2013 in League of Legends that he had obviously kept off to the side for a long time, retrained, and now less than a year later from going into the full-time cycle, found a pro team and is debuting in another title. A kind of amazing accomplishment for a player who achieved so much in Heroes of the Storm.
Absolutely. And as much as I'd love to have, you know, a second stream where we just zoom in on Rich, we are going to have to see how he does, but also how his team does around him. There's always, you know, a big fixture and some solo laners, and when you switch them around and sub them around, you can change up the dynamic with your jungler, especially. And he's gone with Ignite Conqueror Aatrox in the mid lane.
Chovy, first time on the Renekton. Seems like Griffin went, yep, I see a lot of Aatrox in your match history, and I'm going to go with the read. That part is going to work. Tarzan, not known for the plentiful Gragas picks that Score, the jungler we so often compared him to a year ago, would pick up here. Been a lot of Gragas priority this week, after not necessarily being that way even just a couple of weeks ago. Juve, we mentioned, took 500 games to break out the Vladimir. It honestly looked pretty good in the one game that he played, and it was a victory overall. And Peanut at least has one melee champion to coordinate with. It's in the mid lane, and speaking of mid lane,
well, this is what you do. You get a new player. You have some really easy to land CC. As we're flashing in, and we're trying to kill Rich real quick, as he's going to flash away, but that infernal chains are going to land, but it's not going to be enough. And well, that's one way to get it started against somebody in their LCK debut.
Welcome to League of Legends, says Tarzan. They get that first blood in mid lane. That's the way you do. Target the rookie, right? And he is very much a rookie on the LCK stage. That means summoners down. Renekton gank assist is well known, and good stuff from the side of Griffin.
Yeah, you just flash on top of that Aatrox. He's not going to be real tanky this early on. That's just Renekton things. Griffin coming in very well prepared for a player that we just haven't even seen yet. It shows good preparation by their staff as well, just to get a good read on what to do against this player.
And the top lane, the Kennen is going to find happy inroads. While Vladimir is a famous counter pick to AP Kennen, the AD Kennen actually does really well in this matchup, and he's going to be able to have a lot of positioning. It was before one item in and level 9, Vlad started to just out-sustain and win those extended trades, but with Blade the Ruin King, that doesn't necessarily happen, Valdez, so this could potentially be a lot of smoke around the top side, and it's really on the mid lane to see if Rich can find any competition, as Doran uses his lane priority to get a deep ward down, and they spot Peanut nice and easily.
Take another look here at the gank. It's kind of just Renekton things. Rich, I suppose, could have flashed earlier.
Yeah, could have flashed instantly because the Gragas was showing, and it was very obvious what Renekton wanted to do. But kind of an understandable mistake to make. But Gen G have taken a big risk here, debuting a player who's new to the scene in such a big match. Now he's got a lot of friends.
Yeah, Chovy doesn't have his flash here. Nice dodge on the knockup, but Chovy, it's 3-on-1. You are definitely dead, as Life, the bloodthirsty support, will steal the kill.
And even after a good start to the day, sometimes Life smacks you in the face and you go down.
Is he freezing? Oh, somebody get LS on the phone if he's freezing.
You know it's really common to freeze in mid lane, right?
No, I know, but it's, you know, it just doesn't happen that often.
It's true.
We got Sejuani mid now, pushing out the lane. But that would have been funny. As, yeah, it's good to get that better back timing instead. So, you know, as much as Griffin wants to bully the rookie, Gen G say, no, we stand by our rookie, and we are going to support him.
Right, the backup was necessary. See that on the sports field all the time. I watched a lot of AFL recently, and whenever someone tries to get, unsociable with the rookie, it's the big burly guys that come up and say, "What you doing? You know, what are you trying to do over here, mate?
Right, yeah.
They might use words that we can't use on
Yeah.
on this particular English
Like
broadcast.
the S word.
Ooh, scaling. Well, Peanut's looking topside. He's got a Vladimir there, so that's not going to work out so well. Good try, though. I don't see how this works, to be honest. I think Peanut should not be.
Flash and Slicing Maelstrom is available.
Posturing for a counter gank, I guess? I can't see a real gank work, so... Eventually goes back, never mind.
It's a bit of damage taken by Doran, but at the end of the day, just hanging around. Vlad's not getting too far behind, so that's okay for him. Definitely curious to see how much pressure exactly they're going to continue to put on Rich. We saw that Tarzan was nearby again, but Rich was able to deftly dodge.
I'm not going to compare him to death, just you.
Yeah, no.
What? That happened.
Yeah, life flashed to the left.
All right,
And,
look at the summoners and tell me what happened.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to hold that thought as Rich is getting ganked here again. Perhaps doesn't know about the revive, but he just got CC'd to death. Not much that he could do there as his flash was not available.
We don't often completely miss a kill, but that did happen. Complete off-screen action happening, and into the death chamber went, in this case, a ruler, but in mid lane it was a much more standard gank. Let's watch this play. How did this go just so wrong? Oh, okay, so Lehends actually flipped him into turret because the turret hadn't aggroed onto the melee minion enough. I see you shaking your head. But this was a 2v2 kill. Didn't even need the jungler, who did his work in it.
Rich just not respecting, not having any vision on the top side, was a little bit too far down the lane. Just got caught out there as Tarzan, very active in this game. Looking for a play onto Kive, but it is Vladimir after all.
Tarzan is going around and making things happen in a big way. Viper has red buff, I believe, just picked it up.
Yeah.
Just so that his jungler could play top side and there wouldn't be any red buff steals. Funnily enough, Peanut is also in the red side jungle, so he wasn't even in position to get there.
This was Cloud Templar's first pick in his debut match, 2012 Spring Udyr.
I guess there's some commentary reason for them to show this, talking about first-time champions.
Yeah. It's funny, you were talking with Cloud Templar earlier about who the MVP of the 2012 Spring Championship was.
Just casual backroom conversations that Papa Smithy and Cloud Templar have.
It's a classic Papa Smithy topic, guys. So no surprise for me, as of course Cloud Templar was like, oh yes, of course, it was Rapid Star.
And in case you're wondering, he was wearing blue socks and
Reaper
boxers on that day. We got all the details out there. And it was Phantasy Star, which is, of course, Reaper.
Yeah, I said
Under his
Rapid
previous
Star,
idea.
Reaper.
They're both coaches of Cloud9 now.
There you go.
Rich just would love to have a little bit of time to kind of adjust to this scenario, but the Aatrox counterpick into nice gank timing, so I mean, he's not got to play a lot of fun League of Legends.
This ain't solo queue anymore. It's not a scrim anymore. You're getting bullied big time. You get counterpicked and you're having Tarzan camp. It's basically about as hard as it gets.
And Gen G need time. You know, at this point, they're heavily in danger of being run over in even more exuberant fashion than game number one. Griffin, once again, have gone for these pick comps where they're much more about opening up team fights with the Gragas Cask and then swooping in and deleting one by one. It's not the front-to-back team fight comp that Azir and Corki had been a part of in recent memory, so they want to keep arching up the tempo. 10 minutes in, they're doing a good job of doing that as Rich.
Oh.
Every time he walks over.
Well, he's found the Croc, but not the rest of him. It's Chovy trying to do a bit of baiting here, but
he's 2 levels up.
A bunch of pings on the bear.
That is a very powerful Ignite Renekton against a very not so powerful.
They're waiting for Lehends. This is just a game of jaws today.
It is.
We're just waiting brushes.
Gonna roll in is Lehends, looking to interrupt, I guess.
Interrupt, you say?
Smart of him to walk this way. He's respecting this bush. That was super interesting.
Yeah.
That he walked the safest way possible and then zoning Hex Flash.
Yeah, gotta love it. Got that cannon too.
What a great read.
And it looks like they were waiting for the Kai'Sa.
Well,
and they are going to get the Kai'Sa.
Apparently, they didn't share information between support and AD carry.
Oh, boy. Well, in the end, it works out. But Tarzan say, okay, you can get 1 kill, but I'm going to get the Rift Herald here at 11 minutes. And 320 gold is better than 300 at the end of the day.
That was some Galaxy Brain and then whatever is not Galaxy Brain stuff going on.
3 head.
I guess so. I'm not clear as to how many heads there are apart from 4 and 5, so.
There's 4 and 5 and there's 3. I know LS uses 10 head from time to time and 11.
It's just too much of the heads.
There's
Less
a lot
heads,
of
please.
heads. I don't know why, but Doran getting people plagued here. Just trying to get as many plates as possible while he can. Getting the most value out of that Rift Heralds.
Hopefully it's not otherworldly yet, but definitely feels like Griffin is in pretty big control of the tempo of this game. Doran's sticking around. Tarzan's here to help.
Oh, he's trying to get the kill, but the stun! Immediate timing! But at the end of the day, Cuvee just able to pull out of that one, gets trade for trade and a better trade, or rather flash for flash and a better trade to Cuvee.
That calculation wasn't far off. It was 68 health on the all-in. We saw the numbers. It ticked up to 75, so definitely wasn't far away. Nice to see the confidence. Cuvee never makes plays like that, so that was really cool to see. I think he understands that with the game where it is, they can't just take an L in every lane. So they try to make something happen in top, and a solo kill there would have been really big to just increase the confidence of this Gen G squad.
It's a nice moment overall to increase his own confidence, going 1v2 against Tarzan that's been living in the top and mid lanes so far.
Tarzan will back away. The map state right now is not dominated by Griffin Vision, but they have good spotting vision top side. Here's the repeat play. If you remember, and I'm gesturing here, but the bear ran as close to the wall on the bottom of the screen in order to avoid a play like that. Viper seemed a bit blissfully unaware in this case, kind of Dora the Explorer on that one. And you know what? They did confirm, in fact, who was in the bush.
They found out it was Swiper. But he got the swipe this time. As Rich, yeah, even going down 0-2, he's holding his own up against that Renekton. Lost a bunch of CS after he died, and lost some waves and stuff like that, but either way, he's holding on.
And because he's been around, I hope he can adjust his mental. However the game goes, if they lose, people are going to be laughing about it, right? And talking about moving from games and why did he even bother.
Tears of the Storm lull.
And you kind of have to wear that, you know, until you actually prove that you can hang with the big boys. Because League of Legends always had the far bigger player base, and it is a big late career move that could definitely go wrong. This one's not going to go so wrong.
Speaking of moves, Cuvee trying to put them on again. This time had Peanut nearby. Seems like they're trying to play around that lane. Now as Doran, he's the real explorer this time around. Where are you going? Immediately into the hands of the Sejuani, I suppose, as well. That's going to be an easy kill.
And that's some nice damage for Peanut to pad those stats. He's going to brawl further, 900 damage in a minute.
And we got life coming up here too, part of the reason, but not quite able to keep them around. But man, Dora. I'm still thinking about Dora the Explorer. It's just, oh boy.
Kind of feel like now Peanut should go on Doran's stream and give him a donation.
Yeah.
He just got one from Doran now. Well, we got Dora the Explorer and Doran the Explorer this game, so we got the gender-appropriate both people involved in the play. You're not going to back away. Rich at this point, and I know that's suddenly an annoying thing to say because they have a mid laner named Rich, but 2-0 and 1, 100% kill participation, showing it wasn't the pick. It was, in fact, just the style of game number 1 that he unfortunately had to leave with that sub-1,000 damage done.
Peanut doing a bit more. 2-0 and 1. Rich doing his thing. We haven't had too much action after the top lane shenanigans. You can tell that both junglers are leaning this way. Peanut thinking about coming to the top side. There's no flash right now on Doran.
Kind of needs that wit's end, but doesn't really want to build it against all the physical damage on the enemy team. Peanut was looking for a creative path, but is going to actively assault his way defensively. A couple of good moments here for Cuvée. Before the blade was done, a couple of times he's kind of forced Doran onto the back foot or to lose some presence in lane. Lane swap happening here, so Tarzan trying to actually catch. Remember, Killer Instinct range is pretty big. Cuvée should know this one. He needs to avoid the body slam.
Oh, trying to get on top of Tarzan here. As okay, gonna go into the pool after that flip, and well, he just doesn't have enough health. 3-on-1. Nice little play by Lehends to get on in there real quick and make the kill happen.
He saw Kai'Sa on the minions and didn't disengage instantly, and thus deserves his death, this Cuvée. You need to be able to read that scenario a little bit better. Tarzan stuck around for longer. He was again ahead of the play. This has been some of the 200 IQ Tarzan jungling that we haven't seen in a while in the LCK. Shout out to him. We know he's a fantastic jungler, but hasn't been able to show it as much in summer compared to previous splits. Griffin push up further in the top side. Seems like the cost will be a Cloud Drake, which you'll definitely wear on the chin if you're Griffin.
Yeah, they're going to be totally fine with that here. This mid lane hasn't been too eventful after the beginning. They already stuck the knife into Rich to begin this one, as they're going to see him rotating up to the top side.
Yeah, caught on 3. Viper walked on minions, so you know there's a lane swap happening, and you have to then wonder, where are all the Killer Instinct openers? Maybe Cuvée just overrated his ability to escape on Vladimir, but with no flash. He very quickly had no life. Further swap here, and every time they swap around champions, you look at the matchup like, ooh, don't know how I feel about Aatrox in the top lane against Renekton. Kai'Sa will now have more access to potential skirmishes from the mid lane swooping in. And bot lane, it does feel like Vladimir's in a better spot immediately or imminently for a fight than we might have anticipated with how strong on-hit Kennen is compared to AP Kennen in the matchup, but other two lanes are a little bit iffy for Gen G.
He's not having that good of a time here. Cuvée pushing in Doran, the Explorer, who is once again exploring the bottom side of the map, seeing what treasure he can find.
We'll take
have
CS
to
for now.
Consult the map if he wants to find any treasure, that's for sure. See when that does happen, as everybody's hanging around the mid lane. Lehends engage Volibear God. Volibear actually, well, I'm actually going to have to hold that thought, as we're finding a Peanut in the jungle who is going to flash away and throw out the bolas that don't really do anything.
G have been very wantonly exploring the map at this point. And yes, Doran the Explorer was caught, but you have to lead with a sweeper there. If you don't have sweeper, don't go in that river brush. It's not possible. Thought with his flash he'd be fine, but flash and ult used for nothing was a pretty significant cost to exploring that bush.
That's definitely not the what they were looking for there. As we're still relatively early in this game, there's no Baron or anything like that. Double Cloud is kind of nice for the side of Gen G. Does mean that some of these engages can happen a bit easier, especially when you've got a comp that has some hard engage, but the rest of everybody is trying to follow up, you know, Aatrox, Vladimir, even Rakan nowadays after the changes, you know. All that extra speed is actually really going to help if they can get a fight on their terms.
But that's a 5v5. What we're seeing on screen is Moby Boots, Volibear, and Predator Gragas with mid priority, because of course they've been winning the early game, just kind of waiting for the face check and profiting. They have really quick engage champions in the Volibear and the Gragas, and that's just kind of creating areas of the map where Gen G should not dare face check. The flow-on effect of that is something that can be irritating, because if you have to always assume that you might be ganked somewhere, you might not actually respect an entire map movement, a translation you could call it, not necessarily a rotation, by Griffin, and just get picked in other areas. So Vision Snowball is such a real thing. We've known that for the many, many years of League of Legends esports, and right now it's what we're seeing from Griffin. Again, needs the big payoff, and that was the Baron in game number 1. Finally a control ward cleared out. It's the first time they've been able to walk this far up in a while for Gen G.
Gen G hanging around this river, they've got to be careful. side of Griffin. We talked about just how many tools there are to get Kai'Sa into a fight. It's literally everybody, even Kai'Sa herself. So one pick, one way. Thankfully, to the side of Gen G, it's only Peanut that doesn't have his flash, but everybody else is healthy in terms of their summoners. So we're kind of just sitting back for now and farming up and waiting for, you know, about 25 minutes. We got a Mountain Drake on the way, actually, which could be really nice for both of these teams.
As Renekton has not been able to amp up the pressure, Aatrox has farmed out, you know, close to the 2 items that you need in order to reliably team fight. So there's just still a chance that Rich can fight his way out of what has been not the best first 20 minutes of competitive League of Legends ever. Being respectful, trying to hang back. The 2-level lead hasn't been able to be extended by Chovy as well.
You can see they're really trying to set this up again, but I think Rich has learned his lesson, especially after the vision is cleared out. And you'd have to imagine it's not just him. The rest of the team could be saying, hey, be careful. You know, you've been caught out a couple of times. Let's make sure that doesn't happen again.
Definitely be new comms, given that Rich wasn't part of the squad until summer season rolled around. This is his first game, so with 3 mid laners, who's to say what the percentages are in terms of scrim time as well, Valdez?
As Gen G just kind of roll up to Mountain Drake, and they were here for the party. They expected a lot more people, but they just found the host, the Mountain Drake.
But the booze is out, so they're actually able to get a free drink in. So
yeah,
feeling good about that.
It's pretty nice, you know, but at the same time, kind of still wondering where the hell was everybody else.
They were top lane trying to gank Rich, I guess, was the way they inferred it. So it's a good map read by Gen G. They haven't been able to make plays like this because they've been dictated to so hard so far. Free drag out of nowhere. Definitely a lapse from Griffin.
Yeah, you can't just be giving away Mountain Drakes, especially when, you know, you're connected in the mid lane. It's not the best Baron damage. You have a Kai'Sa, of course, but Gragas as well. It's Mountain Drake is going to go a long way to helping you out. And same goes to the side of Gen G. I feel like that was a lot more important than Griffin gave the importance to. Wow. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Doran doesn't seem to care about that Hemo Plague, but he's getting flashed on. And he knew to respect that one. That's happened a couple of times already.
Flash for flash between the two. Vladimir has Phase Rush, so he's the one that's going to be quicker. And with Lightning Rush available, have a decent uptime on that ability. Fun to watch these trades. No MR at all in the build does mean that Doran takes a lot of damage, even though the opening attacks can be big. It almost feels like he has to build the rage and then all in order to actually find a health bar lead. Otherwise, Cuvee is staving off what feels like it should be a pretty easy trade window win for the on-hit cannon.
Lens wants that pick so bad. He's just waiting for it.
Flash flip, baby.
Yeah. Peanut on vision. I feel like he is just very bold in the face of all of that engage on the side of Griffin. Doesn't seem to care about it. Has a couple of his buddies nearby. Will help clean out some of that vision.
Rule is feeling great about the fact that he tanked a Void Seeker and only took 150 damage.
For now, well, you know.
We'll check in later.
We're getting there. Stinger is built. One step at a time for the Kai'Sa. I mean, it was first pick Kai'Sa as well. It's not quite the AP built-in Kai'Sa plus Jace this time around, but we're still going to be getting chunks eventually once that 4th item is built.
Kai'Sa's a pick that the LCK has re-imported back. I played a lot of it in the past, but we saw almost none of it before Rift Rivals. But the LPL has been playing this really extensively in summer, and finally saw the return of it. Peanut looking for a same gank we saw earlier.
Oh, and he missed. That's not what we're looking for. We've seen that Sidoni work before. Oh boy, the burst damage out of the Vladimir is pretty intense as Cuvee. He's getting angry, dodges the cask as well. We had Viper on the way, not even going to land that Void Seeker either. As well, there you have it. Cuvee going 1v2.
And you know Cuvee has a big smile and is feeling great after punking 2 people in a row. Tarzan even has to walk out feeling a bit sheepish. Saw the miss in the mid lane that Peanut would have felt sheepish about, but that was a nice little counter punch. We're hoping there's still life in the series between Gen G and Griffin halfway through game number 2.
love it. Kyve showing confidence and getting aggressive on a champion. Doesn't happen too often, but it's happening tonight. A couple of firsts alongside of Rich's debut coming in here.
Got his items now, Rich, so definitely there's a team fight where he could potentially pop off in this game. Has to choose his timings. There is a lot of annoying crowd control on the side of Griffin. The wall marks onto Peanut. That is going to be very, very tanky initially. Used his early gold to pick up the stone plate, as we can see.
Stone plate first. Definitely pretty enticing, especially with the amount of stopwatches that get bought by engaged junglers, as I was mentioning in the first series we had today.
In case you guys are wondering where this game could be going, if Kyve can keep winning these side lane trades...
He's so fast.
He is absolutely Valdez.
Double
Remember,
cloud.
he also has the injection of the Spellbinder as well for movement speed, so it does have that ability to catch, even through, say, a Lightning Rush. But with where the game is going, we respect most about Griffin pick ability. They have very high pick CC and reliable on-hit of the Renekton plus other pick CC options. So pick into Baron or start Baron into picking someone who's trying to face check is their most prototypical way to win. Think front to back. Kyve goes in the back line, people have to respect that, and then Xayah can potentially hard carry. Yes, Kai'Sa can dive in. Yes, other things can happen, but I think reliably you take Gen G in the 5v5. Griffin wanted it to be like game number 1, where they won because they got Baron control, kept it, and eventually got the Baron. But if Gen G can keep sticking the landing, maybe they'll make an honest team out of Griffin yet.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how this one goes. We got Infernal Drake coming up right now. It is alive and well, as it looks like Griffin, after the Mountain Drake debacle, they say, we should probably fight for this Drake. Infernal very important as Rich frontlining here, trying to clear out some vision. Chovy doing exactly the same, trying to defend. As Gen G going to get that inside track now onto the Dragon.
There's a ward to the right here to spot. They'll know that life is coming around as Drake's already at 2,000.
Got a lot of damage, and it's just going to be taken down by Vladimir, and Griffin say, you can have it again.
The tricky thing for them is, coming back to how we looked at the game, how do they contest when Griffin is not there first? When Gen G's there first, they really do have to opt into a lot of AoE and some very strong team fighting. So while it looks silly, and while Griffin had some good early moments in a gold lead, they have to be particular, Valdez. It's very easy to throw this game against Gen G's comp.
빨간 팀의 포탑이 파괴되었습니다.
You can definitely, one false move, Vladimir gets behind you. Rich frontlining for a Xayah that's doing incredible damage. Definitely see some of these fights going the way of Gen G. I mean, we're getting pretty late now as, wow, Doran. He's not exploring too much. He's just trying to run away at this point. As that's a very scary Vladimir. Level 17 now.
Surreal to be even thinking about Kyve's Vladimir, given his refusal to play it through multiple Vladimir metas. He would always play champions into it. Cannon, for example, a staple of his champion pool, but he's executing well. There is some inevitability about the matchup that we can check. Only now is Magic Resist being picked up. It only works against Vladimir, and I guess the Sejuani. On the side of Gen G, I think Gen G have been able to farm themselves into that decent spot they couldn't quite do. Game number 1, Valdez. Nothing's over. There's no guarantees, but Ruler's a big boy.
Yeah, that was 2 ranged minions tanking. It was 2-3 turret shots, and that was it, as Ruler just got a bunch of autos down. He's got a bunch of items with that Mountain Drake, so easy take there on the mid lane turret will help push some of that vision forward, and it absolutely does feel like Gen G are now in control of this game.
Really a pleasure watching the Hens try to feel out whether there's somebody there.
Oh boy, Life. And he's gonna go down. Just face checking there a little bit, but how about up in the top side? Chovy trying to force this one. Peanut wants to say, get away from my rookie. As in goes the rest of Griffin. The stopwatch is good. Ruler trying to go in. Not quite able to kill Viper though. And that is a perfect cast for the disengage by Tarzan. Gonna push everybody out of that one.
A lot of tools used. TP by Kyve as well for a 1-for-0. Doran stays mid lane, didn't get the call. TP in, so actually Griffin get a lot from this. It was a pleasure to watch Lehends try to test out whether there was someone camping the Pixel Brush, whether there was a ward in, and he was moving forward and back, waiting for the feathers or another skill shot to be thrown out towards him. Got that info, just flashed on and got the kill, so really nicely done off screen by Lehends. That's what a great support player does. They needed that because previously the game had just been about Gen G waiting and waiting and waiting. Not doing much waiting right now.
Chovy, no flash. He used it to engage the last time around. He's still renekton, though. Trying to get out of here. Look at that damage, though. It's insane as they're diving turrets. They don't really care about the turret damage as everybody's pretty tanky at this moment in time. And that's a big pick here for Gen G now. They get that massive renekton.
40 seconds, no TP. Renekton's gonna take the better part of a minute to get to this Baron. Do Gen G pull the trigger? They got new comms to think about with Rich in the lineup.
Oh, they're going for it. You know they have to. 5 on 4. They've got some pretty good pull off the Baron as well. Good turn. Lehends looking for the Hex Flash over the wall, trying to mix things up here. Cuvee getting into that back line, and they are turning, but down will go the Rakan, and Cuvee alone is going to only get 1 kill. But Gen G, at the end of the day, they still get the majority of it. They get the Baron, the 2 kills, and they will move away.
2 for 2, and they get the Baron, so you still give a pass mark to Gen G on the play. Lehends had been just testing around this area until gets in there. Life goes down, super squishy. Chovy makes the play, and I wonder when he flashes in, does he not know that Killer Instinct was used in the mid lane? There's no way for Kai'Sa to respond to this. Dives super deep. Get medium value out of it, you'll say, as Viper actually caught in transition by Ruler.
Both AD carries getting dangerously low as Dorn again in the front line gets dunked by Rich. Gonna pick up another kill for himself in his debut. And Chovy over the wall slices him out of the air with that big golden sword. As there you have it, a couple of kills in Gen G. They are coming back.
They're looking for the win here. This is a long death timer on Chovy again. Died with the Dominus available. At minimum, they lose mid lane inhibitor.
At minimum, you say, they're not going to stop pushing. You'd have to imagine they're on the cusp of winning this game. Lots of damage onto Ruler, though. Got to be careful about that Kai'Sa.
Better Storm and heal available, so he should be able to continue. A lot of melee champions. Not easy for Gen G to close.
Okay, Cask coming in, trying to mix things up here, trying to get those minions out of the range. But there's still that cannon in there. They're going to be able to burst it down. We've still got timers coming in, but it's 10 seconds now.
Minion wave cleared. I think they've done this. I think they've held it.
Have been able to. As Gen G now will pull off. There's another Mountain Drake. I think you'd want to run straight at them, but it looks like they don't want to take any chances here. And maybe that's the safer play.
They want to reset. This would have been one of the few times where you could go for a greedy Drake because there's no TPs up onto Griffin, but I don't mind the safety. Gonna watch the replay of how this all went. Cuvee went for the backline dive. Life joined him just to make it a safe Baron with less damage in the pit. If Kai'Sa gets in the pit, she does so much damage that anything can happen. Probably was the right call, things together. What happened on this side? Because we missed the start of this play. This was good accuracy on the ultimate there.
So important that he lands that.
Yep. Rich is able to get a double kill on this, his 2nd and 3rd kill of his League of Legends career. The permafrost timing couldn't have been more fortuitous, as there's the Space Jam. A pretty good reference, I'd say, given that Michael Jordan, another player who was able to transition sports. It feels weird to say because it's a very different scenario in esports, and people like to laugh about Michael Jordan's baseball times. And who knows? We don't know what will be written about Life's League of Legends career, but looks like he's going to start off with a game victory, and that's a pretty good start.
I think you said Life, but Rich
yes.
Definitely, you know, starts off bad, but, you know, he's able to keep his head in the game, and that's one of those pluses. I was talking about, you know, a much younger rookie player that's new to pro gaming might have just, you know, closed up shop and said, I'm done, I'm tilted, you know, I can't deal with this. But Rich, throughout the game, he played it safe. He was only about 20 CS behind the whole time. You got to give him props for what he's been able to do to come back this time around.
He's clear out the minions here, Griffin. Is engaged.
We're going in. That's a lot of damage already from the Aatrox. We're just frontlining now. We got the Xayah coming on in and just critting them down. As Viper not quite able to do the same amount of damage on the top side. He's not going to be able to do it here. As Gen G will eventually take out that Kai'Sa. Well, actually, Kai'Sa's going to live, but they're just going to turn onto the Nexus and take this game number 2. And we're going all the way tonight, guys. Game number 3 will be coming up after Rich, in his LCK debut, picks up a win.
And he exhales strongly. He knows that he needed his team around him in the early game. The Gen.G side are always loud. We're close to them. We can hear it. Ends on a victory. He will not win MVP for that one, you would think, unless we got some creative stuff going on here. I'm looking at you, Chovy. But in this particular case, picks up the game win. A fellow 1998 birthday, perhaps, on this one.
Ruler, Peanuts,
Rich.
and me, born 1998.
Rich as well.
Rich as well.
So there's a lot of Gen.G players at 21 Western age. Fans from around the world are feeling good, and fans of League of Legends, we're getting the maximum on this Friday match day.
Yeah. Coming down from Canada. We had a fan there.
Whoa.
These are awesome drawings.
They're so good.
This is my IQ 150, your IQ 150.
Hey, that's some respectful banter.
300 in total. Let's get the perfect answer.
Thank you for the translation there. We
Wow.
call so many signs, so many thoughts between Gen.G and Griffin. With playoffs on the line, there ain't much to separate. Afrika Sandbox, Griffin, and Gen.G.
It's fall, they say, on the lunar calendar here in Korea. We had that as one of our match points, that fall has begun on that calendar. And you know what that means for Gen.G. All the fans getting excited with the new player in the mid lane as well, able to keep up at the end of it all.
Do we get a third game of Griffin needing to get the Baron to close a game versus Gen.G farming with a scaling teamfight drop? Because we've had it twice. Griffin nailed it in game number 1. Game number 2 weren't able to when they had that huge area of mid lane control when Peanut and friends had to face check a brush they just could get nowhere near. It was all about the Volibear picks until it really wasn't in game number 2, and that could be the identity a third game in a row. There's every chance, Valdez.
Absolutely. Well, this is becoming a big night. As we expected it, we had 3 games in our first series and 3 this time around. Rich with his LCK debut, and I'd have to say that he earned himself another chance here in game number 3, but we'll have to wait and see what Gen.G's decision will be after this break.
카이사 이었고 지금 세게 해보자. 공 한번 던져볼게. 볼리베어. 볼리베어 먼저 넣어야 되고. 나 상관없고. 쌈바. 웬만하면 이겼어. 그냥 지키면서 해. 지키면서. 카이사 먼저. 카이사도 잡았어. 밀어. 야 죽여줘 재승아.
재현이 형.
죽여. 야 죽여. 안돼. 오케이. 밀어.
잘했어.
아 척박했다. 아 초반에 게임 너무 많이 당했다. 오케이 잘했다. 나 그냥 진짜 잘해줬다. 재승아 그리고 아까 그거 진짜 잘했다. 바텀 노린 거 진짜 잘했다. 오케이.